Welcome back. So this week it is the World Finals at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Dirt Track, and we did this video last year looking at storylines going into the week, also kind of a race preview, I guess you could say. It's going to be a really solid field of cars going into this week. It is every single year at the World Finals, the final race really for these national touring teams to get geared up and get ready for 2026 and finish off 2025 on a high note. Of course, there will be a lot of new pairings getting together this week and getting their first races together, which is what a lot of this video is about. And the format is a little bit different. It starts tomorrow on Wednesday, and it's all qualifying the entire night. You'll qualify two separate times for the Thursday and Friday night portions of the World Finals, and then they take the combined points from Thursday and Friday, and that sets you up for a heat race on Saturday. And then Saturday is $25,000 to win, and I want to say it's $1,750 to start the feature event. So, yeah, if you're wondering how the format works, that's kind of a brief overview of it. Wednesday, it's all qualifying, not much racing going on, so keep that in mind. So when we get here to the board, we'll start at the top because usually that's how these things work here. We'll talk about the 17 car because we do know that this will be the debut for Spencer Bayston. We know that he is driving that car next year full-time on the Outlaw Tour after his wild 2025, which saw him get the Jason Myers Racing 14 ride. He gets let go from that car at the Knoxville Nationals. He runs all kinds of different other cars, proves himself enough to get this ride from Stenhouse Jr. Marshall Racing. And we know at the same time, this is the final weekend for Sheldon Haudenschild driving that car after being in it for about 8 or 9 years. On the Outlaw Tour. There will be two of those cars racing this weekend. Sheldon and Bayston will be teammates for the weekend. And of course, this will be the first time we see Bayston and Kyle Pruitt, the crew chief of that car, working together as well. Also very curious to look at what the crew member situation looks like for this as well. We know that the last time that they were out, when Sheldon won at Angel Park, we know that Cole Newhalfen and Nate Reppitz were the crew guys on that car. They will probably, I'd have to assume, be there this weekend as well. But next year is going to be a big question mark as to who the crew guys are going to be on that car on the Outlaw Tour. But good luck to Spencer Bayston. We'll see how it goes for him this weekend. And Sheldon Haudenschild, what a hell of a run it was with this car. And we kind of already know what his situation is for 2026. Also, a debut this weekend for Dason Pursley after Brad Sweet retired at the High Limit Racing Banquet. Casey Kane needed to find a new driver for his flagship car, and he picked up Dason Pursley after a Rookie of the Year run with the High Limit Racing Series this year. And so Pursley will drive this car for the first time this upcoming weekend in competition. And the other question is for this car is, will we see the crew chief of the car for 2026 this weekend, or will it kind of be Casey Kane and Andrew Bowman and those guys doing what they were doing with Brad Sweet there at the end of the year to get him to the end of the season? Will it be that, or will we see who I believe could be the crew chief? Will we see that this weekend? I'm not sure if they'll keep that under wraps, if they won't have that guy there this weekend and just wait till 2026. We'll have to wait and see what the deal is, but Dason Pursley, his debut in the 9 car should be, I would guess, a new paint scheme on the 9. That is something to watch for as well. Will it be the Napa 9 this weekend, or will they save that for next year? Also, the debut for Tanner Holmes. Of course, after Pursley left the Buick Motorsports 13, they went on the driver hunt. They found Tanner Holmes, and so that has been, it hasn't even started yet, and people are already very excited about it. I had Tom Buick text me the day after the announcement and said, well, I think this kid broke the internet yesterday with this announcement. And I texted back. I said, yeah, it turns out he's a pretty popular guy. And so Tanner Holmes, I saw his Facebook post today. He's on the plane heading back to Charlotte, North Carolina. He has not been to Charlotte Motor Speedway Dirt Track since 2023. That was when he was in the Shark Racing 1T. The results were not very good. He made 2 of the 3 shows. But with this 13 car, it's going to be just a weekend of learning each other, figuring out the communication between Tanner and Sean Strasbaugh. Tanner trying to get a feel for the RPM chassis, the HP engine. Both of those things are new to him. And so we'll see if they have any speed out of the gate. We know this car has been fantastic in qualifying all year long. And maybe, just maybe, they can continue it on with a new driver behind the wheel. But will be fun to watch those two, Buick and Tanner Holmes for the first time this weekend as well. The 7BC Magnet is on the board for Giovanni Scelzi, because maybe this could be the week that we find out what his future holds for his sprint car racing career. Of course, dirt tracker Justin Fiedler has, basically let everybody know what the deal is, that, Gio's going to have a new ride with a new crew chief, and it's going to be very, very exciting. But I have heard rumors that potentially this could be the week that they announce it, and it's going to be a very, very big deal when it does come out. And so I'm not sure if it does come out this week. I'm just guessing. And it makes sense, right? It's the World Finals. A lot of announcements come out during the World Finals, and the team that he is rumored to be going with is from the Charlotte area, so it kind of makes sense. And so maybe we will see that big announcement coming up this week for Giovanni Scelzi. Now, also the 18 car, could we see the announcement that the worst kept secret in all of motorsports, the Sheldon Haudenschild, more than likely going to that car next year? That could also come out this weekend. But at the same time, this is the final opportunity for Corey Eliason behind the wheel of that car to make some noise, try to have a couple of good runs, and try to set himself up for 2026. I'm not sure if Eliason and Shannon Wheatley, that 45 car, have a deal for next year. They ran well this year together. I have not seen anything on Facebook or Twitter confirming that will be a pairing for next year. But if it's not, or even if it is, Eliason is going to want to try and have a couple of top 10 runs this weekend against a really good field at the World Finals, his final weekend behind the wheel of the KCP Racing 18, before more than likely 99% sure that Sheldon Haudenschild will drive that car. We do not know the series choice quite yet. Will they run the Outlaws? Will they run High Limit? I heard last year the 18 car was on the fence about both of those options, but maybe with Sheldon, they'll want to stick with the Outlaws, and we'll see if that is the case. Now, a couple of other things going on down here. The 2 of David Gravel, the 83 of Buddy Kofoid, the points battle for the Outlaw Championship. It's not much of a battle, of course. David Gravel, a 138-point lead going into the weekend with 3 races to run. I almost put on the board how many positions Buddy Kofoid needs to get per night. Instead, I just wrote he needs a miracle, right? I want to say it's 23 positions per night that Buddy Kofoid needs to have on David Gravel. And if you're not familiar, there's only about 24 cars that start the feature. So Gravel would need to run last almost every single race, and Buddy would need to win in order for him to win the championship. And so David Gravel, more than likely, he's going to become a 2-time Outlaw champion and join the likes of a lot of Hall of Famers, right? I mean, Brad Sweet, Steve Kinzer, Donnie Schatz, Jason Myers. The list goes on and on and on. Steve Kinzer, I don't know if I said that already. But David Gravel is going to be the 2-time Outlaw champion. 138 points between him and Buddy Kofoid going into the final weekend. Another points battle that is on the line as well is Donnie Schatz and Bill Balog. A 48-point gap between those two, which equates to about 8 positions per night. Unless Balog gets a win, then it kind of makes it a little bit different because it's 4 points from first to second, and then 2 points for every spot behind there. And so Balog has a legitimate shot to pass Donnie Schatz for 6th in the Outlaw point standings. And also in that same breath, Donnie Schatz has 3 more races to try and win a race. If he does not win a race this weekend, it will be the first time since 1997 or 1998 that he has not won a World of Outlaws feature in one single calendar season. And so we'll see if Donnie Schatz can pull off a miracle here and make it happen and get a victory. He has been lights out at Charlotte in his career. I want to say 14 wins at the Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track. So one of his better racetracks, but they have obviously been struggling here recently. Maybe he can get qualified well on Wednesday night and set himself up nicely for the rest of the weekend. Also, the Rookie of the Year battle with the Outlaws comes down to the wire as well. Garrett Williamson currently leads in that little battle there. A 126-point gap back to Chris Windham. And so very much like the Buddy Kofoid, David Gravel battle, it is all but wrapped up. And then Cole Macedo is 24 points behind Chris Windham for, I guess, the 3rd spot, battling for the 2nd spot of Rookie of the Year. Windham had it for a majority of the season, but here towards the latter part of the year, Garrett Williamson has really established himself as the guy to beat when it comes to Rookie of the Year honors, which, of course, is a big honor. When it comes to the Outlaws, there have been a lot of really good race car drivers, future Hall of Famers that have won the Rookie of the Year honors, especially against a 6-car Rookie of the Year class that includes also Schoenberg, G, and Morrell. Garrett Williamson looks like he is poised to make that happen this season. Ricky Thornton Jr., he is back behind the wheel of a sprint car. He will be doing double duty in the sprint car and in the late model, and this will be his first wing sprint car race since this race last year. So Ricky Thornton Jr. has not raced a wing sprint car since the World Finals in 2024. Of course, we just saw him run very, very well at the Western World Championships with the USAC National Sprint Car Series. Had a couple of top fives over there, but obviously it's going to be way, way different for him going into this weekend. A really, really stacked field, a tough racetrack to get around. But I have seen Ricky Thornton Jr. has been practicing quite a bit here recently, and so maybe some extra laps could help him out. Maybe he'll make a show or two. We'll have to wait and see, but you have to admire what Ricky Thornton Jr. is doing. Wing sprint cars, late models, modified, street stocks, non-wing cars, micros, midgets. This guy does everything. It is very, very cool what Ricky Thornton Jr. is doing, and I hope to see him have some success going into the World Finals this weekend. Also, the TSR 15 is on the board. Kerry Madsen, of course, is the driver. I've heard some rumblings about Kerry Madsen's future, and we'll have to wait and see if that does come true. But this will be the final race for Tony Stewart Racing as a full-time Outlaw team. And of course, that is a big deal. We know that they're going to High Limit next year with Rico Abreu as the driver. And TSR has been with the Outlaws for 20 plus years. And it is going to come to an end this weekend at the World Finals. And so that is the end of an era, no doubt about it, that TSR and the partnership with the Outlaws after so many years is going to be done at the end of this weekend. Pretty crazy to think that that is the case. And that's kind of a storyline that not many people maybe are talking about here. Maybe Kerry Madsen can go out on the right foot here and get himself a win this weekend over the 3 races. Also did want to mention as well that Ty Gibbs will be making his World of Outlaws debut this weekend. He'll be making his Charlotte Motor Speedway debut as well. Along with Ricky Thornton Jr. have seen a lot of videos of Ty Gibbs getting some practice behind the wheel of his sprint car, and he has not ran the sprint car in a very long time. It's been quite a few months. I know those guys had a pretty busy schedule lined up this year, had a bunch of rainouts there at the beginning of the season, and then things just didn't work out. Did not think that we'd see Ty Gibbs back behind the wheel of a sprint car this year, but he will be there at the Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track. Ran last night at Millbridge. He'll run tonight at Millbridge as well, in the midget, of course, and then he'll run the sprint car this week. And we'll see what he can do in his Outlaw debut. He has had some mild success with High Limit Racing, made a couple of features earlier this year. And so keep an eye on him going into this weekend. So those are some of the storylines. That is a preview of the 2025 World Finals. Let me know if I missed anything by commenting down in that comment section below. Hit subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll talk to you guys again here soon on the Rodman Rundown.